Lock it in. Lock it up. Lock it up. Welcome, everybody, to episode 97 of the Renegade Realm podcast with me, you, them, and together, we are Captain Planet.
Too woke.
There we go. Oh, would you say too woke? Was that too woke? Let me try this again.
I'm kidding.
Okay,
You did
fantastic.
not just hit us with the Captain Planet BS.
My God. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us and being here. Got 20 people already here, as Assassin was saying. Wow, look at this. Shout out to Game Adaptation Newscast. It's Timmy, Barry Donnellan, Game Seeker, BT Maverick, American Fury, my dude, my best friend, Gray Monad, God, Nerds and Other Legends. Oh, good to see you, man. Toxic Buttwind. We're complete. We're complete with you now. Happy Bomb, yo, thank you.
What the
and then
fuck,
there's
Red?
Jonas.
Did we skip 3
Fantastic.
weeks?
Did we?
We skipped 3 weeks. How did we go from episode 94 to 97?
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll
last
check.
week was 94.
Listen, it's been things. Time is weird, okay? I'll change that. Welcome to episode 95 of the Renegade Realm podcast. Anyway, Crippling Dead is here to keep us in check so we don't end up like him. Fantastic. Anyway, man, what a week. What a week. It's fantastic. Arcane, thank you for being here as our special guest this week. How are you? Are you wearing a Fallout jacket?
Yeah, this is literally the exact same getup I'm pretty sure I wore on the last episode. I've been waiting here for the past week to get to the next episode. I've been stuck in limbo over here, so somebody send help,
So
please.
he did episode 95 and 96. That's why we're
Look,
alone.
Exactly. Right.
Don't be nice about it, Arcane. Red keeps you there.
He does.
We
He
know that
keeps me
there's the angle.
perpetually
Throw away
as
the key.
In case myself, Assassin, or Holly can't make it, he's like he changed you to the thing to make sure
well,
that
yeah, he you know
because he
the
doesn't want
Fallout-
to change. He doesn't want to
the-
change his stream layouts.
The Fallout 4 jacket I
Exactly.
think is appropriate because the character is frozen in cryostasis, as was I for the past week. So somebody send help, please. I can send you my exact GPS coordinates. And yeah,
No.
save me from this nightmare. No, I'm being held in stasis as the kind of, sort of, not really unofficial 5th panelist of the Renegade Realm podcast. So hello, everyone. I'm doing good. I've been busy, obviously, working on content on my channel and playing some games every so often. I actually started playing Risk of Rain 2 with Damarco just recently, and he's got me hooked on that game, man. Like it's not the kind of game I would traditionally play. It's like a third-person action roguelike, and but it's very good. It's very interesting, and I'm eager to play more.
And it's relaxing, right?
It is oddly
oddly relaxed. It's therapy. It's like
it's oddly zen. Like it's so frantic, but in a very like peaceful way, you know.
You get into just such a flow. Like you're looking around.
Yeah,
It's like
it's got the flow state as what's his name, Hugo Martin from id Software, when they were making Doom Eternal, they called it the flow state that you get into the gameplay loop, and Risk of Rain 2 has that in spades. And then kind of sort of related to that, but I actually got Jonas unwittingly addicted to Balatro. He's been sending me Discord messages of like his best Joker hands, and I'm like, dude, you're already so much better at this game than me.
He lives for those.
And I
types of
actually,
games, right? He's a big card game fan. He was
he did
huge.
pick up Balatro because he's like, yeah, I don't really think that's my thing.
Well, yeah, they dropped it on Game Pass just recently, and they added a bunch of brand new card faces. Like there's a Fallout and Assassin's Creed themed card deck now, which is really cool. But I did something that I can't even remember the last time I did this, but I actually downloaded Balatro on my phone. I never play games on my phone. I'm not a mobile guy, but I enjoy it enough that I'm like, you know what? It's something for me to do when I'm stuck in the break room at work, just not doing anything, and just pop that open, try and do a quick run, and inevitably fail. But And then the last thing that I've been playing is, again, it's kind of very slowly chunking away Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Yes.
I just barely got past the Himalayas and the set piece section right after the Himalayas, which for those of you who haven't played the game, I don't want to say exactly what that is because it was so cool seeing that for the first time. So I'm in what I'm assuming is like the final major open area of the game. But I've just been slowly piecemealing out that one because I've been busy with other things and I haven't necessarily had the time to sit down and really do anything with that. Just like my friend Damarco, I also am trying to get footage and get some sort of impressions or review video out for Indiana Jones. I don't know when that's going to come out, but I'm just trying to make sure I've got enough footage for that, which by now I think I do, and I need to write a good script and do all of that stuff. So that's the stuff that I've been up to.
Fantastic, man. You've been a busy little beard. Fantastic. Hey, Assassin, how are you, man? And what have you been into? You been playing a lot or working a lot?
Existence is pain,
Is futile. Oh, yes, that too.
especially today.
Yeah, Borg.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad enough they gave me one bad news, then they come up with this one. I hate the industry. I hate the industry so much sometimes.
Yeah. It's pretty
Anyway,
brutal. Anyway, we'll get into that
what
fun stuff.
what I've been playing more Avowed. I think I got to the 20-hour mark, if I'm not mistaken. The only reason why I haven't gotten that much more into it, 8 hours technically, I finally finished Prey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Without
why don't you tell us
spoilers.
about that, buddy?
Yeah. Without spoilers, how did you like it?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I
just got
either. I am gonna play
So-
it and beat it.
so the review for my review for Prey is just one sentence, actually. It is the most frustratingly interesting game I have ever played. And that's about it.
That's fair. You know what? I honestly, I think that's fair because I didn't catch your last stream that you did, but I saw enough of the previous streams to see that you were really struggling.
To be fair,
Yeah, it was.
Assassin is like a really good gamer. Like he's very, very good at games, which is very frustrating when you play
Of that, I have zero doubt.
multiplayer. When you play multiplayer with him, it gets a little frustrating because
Yes.
What the heck?
he's
Oh,
he's assassin.
Yeah.
But
Because you're like, I'll just
It
go beat the
was-
game. You guys just catch
Yeah.
up if you can. And we're like, well, all right, well.
yeah, he's like
Hey, it's
cleared
not my
everything, and you're like, well, can you wait? He's like, nah, I'm already done here. I'm already done here.
We beat the
Hey,
game.
hey,
Hold on, yeah.
It was
You're calling out you're calling out the bad habit that I had when we played Division together. Division 2.
Division, a Space
Funny-
Marine.
funny- It was funny because me, Holly, and Umbra were playing Division 2, and they were just
When we did
exploring, and I was
Outlast
like, nope.
Trials.
Stop.
Yeah, everything. Assassin just runs ahead of the party. He's like, if you
loves
aren't
it.
going at breakneck speed, then I don't have time for your ass.
I ain't got
Oh,
time for your ass. Yeah, exactly.
I just.
Anyway,
never mind, I'm
but
not
it
gonna-
was particularly like satisfying watching him play Prey because he was struggling with it, which everybody does. So it's not, it's not like
Well, yeah, it's not. I don't hate it at all, but I've never
I'm
played a game
honestly
that's more
surprised
frustrating
you
than
don't
the
hate
Souls
it.
series. I'm honestly
Never
surprised
played
I
a game more
finished it.
frustrating than Dark Souls?
It is Prey. I have now
You think
accomplished that
it's
one goal.
not that bad.
Here's why.
The last time I was
can-
this frustrated with the game was literally Dark Souls.
Methinks someone is being dramatic, which for you, Assassin, is unheard of.
Here's what I think I can pin it down to, and I gave Assassin this piece of advice before he did his final stream of Prey, was that it is one of those games that you cannot just bash your head into a brick wall and expect to enjoy the game with that approach. You have to approach the game on its terms because it is designed so deliberately and so intentionally. Everything is every sort of object you find, every enemy, It's all there for a reason. It is a very
It's ironically that advice that got me through the last couple hours of the game, actually, because I kept beating my head against the wall. I was like, okay, I need to look back. I need to use my brain. I need to see what else I can do. Oh, I can go that way.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Exactly. It's a rare kind of game that really expects the player to find solutions. It doesn't overtly give you the solution to any one problem. It always expects you to try at least a little bit to find your own way through, and that's just one of the many reasons I love that game, and I love Arcane, is that they don't treat you like a child. Here's your waypoint that you need to follow. Now, in recent games, they've been a little more guilty of that, but in like Dishonored and Prey, they've always been good about, here's roughly where you need to go. Figure it out. So, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's all I gotta say about Prey. I mean,
for what
it's a good game, but it's definitely not one of my best, or not one of my favorites.
I'm glad that you didn't hate it. I think if you are ever open to it, maybe a year or two from now down the line,
I was thinking 5 years.
Well, whatever time you feel is appropriate, I think it's worth revisiting at some point in the future when you have a little bit more knowledge under your belt, so to speak. So
he's saying when you're good at games, try it again.
Nope. His
It was
words,
kind of
not
funny
mine.
though, Arcane. It's kind of funny though.
You just call him Arcane?
Right? I think Arcane. I'm eating. Shut it.
Okay. Arcane.
So it's
See,
funny
if you
that
were
he
on
mentions
camera, we
that.
would have known that, so we would have understood, and you wouldn't have had
Yeah.
to tell us.
I mean, I'm not allowed to say anything about that, but you know,
Thank you.
just
You
not allowed
remembered.
to say anything.
He didn't bribe me.
I tried. I'm trying here.
Buy everyone Monster Hunter. No. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Whatever Holly wants me to get her, I'll get her, as long as the deal applies to her too. Anyway.
Well, there you go. That's nice.
Yeah, Arcane, I think it was like the episode before or
If I
the
were
last
rich
one.
man.
I got so frustrated, I was like, damn. I'm so frustrated with this game right now.
Oh yeah.
that I just
remember,
want to play
you
Starfield.
You were just about ready
Because
to
it's
quit
boring.
before you even beat the game. So
I know. In my head, I was thinking, it was pretty bad that I wanted to go play Starfield because of how boring it was, so that way I can clear my head. That's how frustrating the game was.
There you go. Or just like sit like in a dark room with no lights and no sound at all. It's the same experience. That's why I love it so much. Yeah, I love it.
Actually, yeah, I can actually agree. By the way, why out of all the pictures that I've been using lately, why Barney? For today's episode, you could have used the Chihuahua.
It's funny, like I used the blending method because I
that
didn't
will
want
come.
That day will come. Oh my god, it was so funny. That tweet got me. Like I laughed so hard when I saw that, like the crying Chihuahua or whatever it was. It was so funny.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So anyway, I just don't want it to ruin the aesthetic. You know, it is purple, but I wanted it to sort of blend in there with what's his face. So there you go.
With my, I get it.
It's
yeah.
not what I
So-
demanded.
So for
I know,
people
sorry,
in chat who may be wondering what the deal is, so I'm
made
giving
you an
Red.
entire one to use.
Colt made
I'm
one?
actually gifting Red a copy of Monster Hunter Wilds in exchange for him not mentioning my camera. So
There we go.
that's our deal.
I am so excited for I am like
For how long though?
A month.
You
Yeah, for a
can't
month.
mention it for a month.
He can't mention it for a month starting March 1st.
Oh, super
Yeah.
worth it.
Oh, you got a week, bro. Just ham at it.
Yeah, that's nothing. That's awesome.
yeah, I really appreciate you.
Yeah,
But
no
hey-
problem.
Okay. Damarco, what have you been into, man? And have you played anything? I know you got work stuff going on and all that, and we don't have to talk about it, or we can. It's fun. It's fun too.
Look, I had Arcane mentioned Risk of Rain 2. We did some Civilization 6 with Holly and Jonas, and I got my claws stuck on Civ now. I can't can't stop. I'm thinking about it all the time. I'm just thinking about like putting down more settlements and leading my tanks to march across hellfire burned landscapes that I pillage and raid, and I only like doing the military. The other ones are
He
boring.
didn't do that when we were playing. He was a hot mess.
Oh my god, I was having such an impossible time. Our game was not going well for me at all. But I just love it. I love just starting new civs, and I don't know, it's just a wonderful game, and everyone should play Civilization. But those two things. Oh, and last week for the Push Start podcast, played Avowed, which I could definitely see where people have their faults with Avowed and why some people wouldn't like it. I think that there's a lot I really appreciate about Avowed, especially in regards to its combat. But as far as the world goes, you know, I know, for example, Maddie brought up in his review how it feels MMO-like. And I completely understand why, and would
It
hold
is a
that
great
against
Obsidian game,
myself.
but it is definitely not their best.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It just doesn't. The combat is its redeeming quality for sure. Like, it's very dynamic. It's fast paced. It's still a little bit funky because, you know, like I was dual wielding daggers in the beginning, and you kind of stab, and it feels like you almost stick to them a little bit. You're like.
It's kind of ironic that you say that
And
the
you're just
combat
like,
is the
wait.
best part about it, because remember last year when we were all talking about it, the main concern we had was the combat.
No, I was excited. Maybe I just changed my tone after I saw more footage or something, but I was genuinely excited for the combat. I thought that
No, I was talking about that red number and Blue Wolf over here.
yeah, gotcha.
Oh, that like almost went over
That's
my
what
head. I
it
was
is.
like, that's right. No, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
That was it. It's a good game. I can see where the faults are, but you know, ultimately, it's one that I think if the choice and consequence holds up, you know, and you really feel like you're making some impactful decisions as far as what happens to certain characters and you know, the world as a whole, even though the world doesn't really move that much. But if you feel like, oh, I brought this massive plague, like, it's, you know what, the most fun I was having was because I was just role playing this character that had complete and utter obedience towards the Empire overseas, and he's like, anything about I was playing fantasy, like I was playing Avowed version of Warhammer basically with my character, and I was having a lot of fun with him.
I love that. Hey, Ollie, what have you been into? What have you been playing? How you doing?
Better than your voice.
Thank you.
Pretty much what Damarco said. We played Civ, and that was it is so hard to stop a game of Civ, because like literally it's always next turn. Like there's
It's the
memes
one-
about it, right?
That's what
You get
exactly.
to
I was about to say that. It's
you
it's
get to the
famous
point
for the
where,
one
like,
more. Yeah.
If you're playing with multiple people, everyone individually is just sort of sitting there like doing their own thing. They hit the next turn button. No one's talking anymore, but you're still just like, you're like, come on, go!
Talks. Damarco talks. He was yelling in our ear. Jonas and I were like, bro, we're gonna have to turn you down. We're gonna have to turn you down.
So funny.
But
I was
yeah,
having fun.
it's good. It was fun. And then I've just been playing a ton of Avowed. So I'm 22, 23 hours, something like that. I just entered the second area called Emerald Stair. And
Yes.
I really, really love the game. I'm having a great time. I understand, Damarco, in your podcast you were talking about like how the NPCs don't react, they're kind of dumb, like the stealing aspect, right? And there's somebody
just
on Twitter.
no world the world feels like it's like you know those like you go to the Western sets and then it just has the front of the buildings, but the back is just cardboard or like wooden beams holding just that's what the world of Avowed felt like, at least early on.
Hey, crippling debt. Avowed bros. I don't know. Like, I guess I understand people who said that, right? Because that's more of a Elder Scrolls, Skyrim type of mechanic. You know, it's more of a living world. And certainly people like probably Red and I, when we saw that first trailer, we were like, whoa, right? The teaser, and then everything else past that, we were like, it's not what I had my heart set on when I saw that.
Yep.
So I think probably a little bit of it is people just like still having that like mindset of, oh, I really wanted this game, right? And those mechanics kind of sort of come along with games that are more traditional fantasy, I think. But when you just realize it's just a really fun combat, really interesting story game, and I don't like, I always think that I want to be a magic character, and I literally am never a magic character. Like, I'm always like, okay, I'm gonna play magic, like Elden Ring. Yeah, that lasts like an hour, and I'm like, I can't do it. I hate it. Like, and I really want to do it, but I've never done it. I always wind up being way more melee, right? I really like sword and board builds, but in Avowed, I've been loving the magic. It's so much fun. There's only been a couple times where I had to switch to sword and board, and it's honestly, I think, just because I got in an area that was way too overpowered for what I was, and I couldn't get out. So I just went back to traditional combat, because when in my magic build, you have no shield of any type, right?
Right.
So you're just always kind of getting hit unless you know how to perfectly dodge all of them. And when they're way overpowered, you know, you get knocked out in 1 or 2 hits. So that's why I was like switching back and forth. But I think I've got my magic build kind of built up, and now I understand more the mechanics better in the game to know, don't go over there. Like, your magic can't handle what's over there yet. So having a great time with it. I really like it. It's really good. The only thing I would say is, and it's not 100% true, but if I had to change one thing, I've seen little glimpses of, like, Obsidian is kind of known, right, for how funny they are and how they create this really interesting dialogue. And they have good dialogue, and I have seen some funny interactions, but it's definitely like nowhere near what it is in the Outer Worlds, right? Which is just like a lot of sarcasm, a lot of goofiness, a lot of funny, like quirky things, sarcasm, like all of the stuff, right? And you don't get as much of that in this.
But do you think that
but it's
works
also
to the
the
game's
world.
advantage to help set it tonally apart from the Outer Worlds?
Maybe, except that it's all this like bright colored, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a world that looks naturally aesthetic. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a highly pigmented world.
Mhm.
So I think you could go either way with it. The only thing I can think is that maybe they were trying to stay a little bit more true to what the Pillars of Eternity level of funniness is, right? Because this is in that world, even though it's not a part of that game or part of that extension. So maybe that's why. And that's fine, because Outer Worlds is coming. And this does have some really funny things. Like, we were in a party last night, and I went into this store, and I was listening to a conversation, and it had me interact with them. And it was basically like this character was talking about how they had this material or whatever, and they were saying, well, maybe you should like not worry as much about male enhancement, whatever, right? And so and then one of the dialogue tree options literally gave it like the goofiest, funniest name that fit the world and the conversation for basically like a male enhancement drug that you could buy, or that they wanted to go sell. And I like burst out laughing in the chat, and everybody was like, what's going on? So I told them what was going on. It was like stuff like that, right? It's really clever. So
I love that.
Nice.
And
Nice.
one more thing. If you like puzzle games, and if you like somewhat emotional stories that are really rich and involved and deep, Maquette, which I've talked about before on the show, was on sale. I woke up this morning and I saw it was on sale, and I bought a couple copies like instantly because Damarco and Red have not played it, and I definitely know that at least one, if not both of them, would like actually super enjoy the story that comes with the game. It's very rich. It's very deep. It's a story between a man and a woman and their couple, and you know, like the trials that they go through and stuff like
In
that.
2025,
really good.
a man and a woman? Not on my watch.
I don't know. Well, it wasn't made in 2025, so it's what we call a relic.
Right, that was the old days. That was just back in my day. A man
Back
and a woman.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but thank you.
That
I
was
can't
on
wait to get into
Steam.
that.
It's like $8 on Steam. So MAQUETTE. It's really good. It's very, very good. So that's it. That's my plug.
Love that. Love that plug. Oh shit! Shoot! Cole, thank you so much, man. The $20 super chat, bro. He says, "I love you guys. We love you too, man. Thank you so much. That is so nice." This is the part where I should do the arcane.
Great, we
If
stole
you could
it.
go ahead and do that. There we go.
Assassin, you should do it too, even though you're not there.
Okay, I just want to scream.
I did it. I did it already. I
I know,
was.
but not
I
at the
was. I
same
was.
time.
I was ahead of the curve.
Anyway, thank you so much, bro. That is so nice of you, man. And yeah, Cole was helping me out with thumbnail stuff. Try to change a lot of things with the channel. As you saw, I put out a Fable video. If you guys haven't watched that, I'm sure you guys are all on Twitter. I'm sure, so you probably know it all. Anyway, but yeah, I've been playing The Witcher. That's pretty much all I've been playing, and that's pretty much it. I am 100 hours in, about to hit level 20, and I got another 300 to go probably. It is. Every week I say this, but that game. It's just nothing like it, other than Cyberpunk. Like, it just... I just don't understand. Like, games just... There's just nothing like... CD Projekt Red, absolute legendary. Anyway. Oh, man. And, see, a bunch of new people in chat. I don't think I've seen... There's some new people here. Jago6. Thank you for being here. Web Dave, what's up, man? Thank you. Web Dave says, everyone hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. That was that Dirt Griggity? Can't remember. Anyway, there's someone else. King Styles is here. Slow Lark, what's up, man? Andrew Cullinane. I don't want to miss it. Noise Bofo. Thank you all so much for being here. It's we're gonna get into the first topic of the day. 4XP, what's up? Welcome, new people. Thank you so much. Drake Williams. You guys rock. You guys absolutely rock each and every single week. It's amazing. So Arcane, I'm gonna hand this off to you, Big Daddy. You are a daddy. So Warner Brothers has shut down how many games? Or excuse me, how many studios? 3 studios?
They shut down. So Warner Brothers Games shut down 3 of their internal studios. So Monolith, the team behind the Middle-earth games, and who were working on a Wonder Woman game for the past several years. They also shut down Player First Games that did Multiversus. I never played it. I heard good things. Damarco could probably speak more to that.
Fine.
And then they also shut down, I believe it was WB San Diego, some kind of
Correct.
support studio. I don't know if they were ever actually developing their own title or not.
They specialize in free-to-play and mobile games.
Yeah, so I'm just going to kind of rapid fire my thoughts here because I don't really have them well organized, but Warner Brothers is a company that I have just lost all respect for in the past 10, 15 years. They have gone so steadily downhill That's their film division, their TV division, and in particular, with regards to this story, their gaming division has been a complete and utter mess. And it makes sense that not that long ago, the
Hey,
director
I'm sorry.
or the head
Assassin,
of
mute yourself. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're good. The head of Warner Brothers Games, David something, I forget what the guy's full name was, but he left just recently. And seeing this news today makes me think that he knew the shitstorm that was on the horizon, so he decided to jump out with his golden parachute like a typical asshat executive in the AAA gaming industry. But yeah, Warner Brothers is a company that I have just despised for a long time, and this has given me even more reason to despise them further. So Monolith is the one that hits the hardest for me because... So I never played Shadow of War. It's still on my backlog. I still need to get to that, but I loved Shadow of Mordor back in the day. That game was incredible. They introduced us to what's called the Nemesis system, where it was this really unique, innovative game mechanic. You would have these really special one-on-one relationships with your enemies, and if you fought them in battle and you mortally wounded them and they escaped, they would come back to haunt you later. And they would remember you, so they would say a line referencing a previous encounter that the two of you had had. And it was just so innovative for its time. And then they expanded on that in Shadow of War, which, again, I'm really, especially now after today's news, I really think I need to play that game now, more than I ever needed to before. But Warner Brothers, in their infinite greed-filled wisdom, patented the Nemesis mechanic, which means they filed a patent with the US Patent Office, or maybe it's the Worldwide Patent Office, I forget exactly the specific details, but they filed a patent, which means that only they legally are allowed to use that mechanic. Any other publisher or game development studio that tries to use that mechanic could get sued for, you know, infringement of the patent, and it was just a really shitty move. And then we go flash forward a couple of years and we find out they're making a Wonder Woman game, and I'm like, okay, this Wonder Woman is an IP that's riding kind of high. You know, say what you will about the films. The first one was great. Wonder Woman 84 was hot garbage. Wonder Woman was more popular than she had been in a long time as a character in the DC mythology. So they announce, hey, the Middle-earth devs are making a Wonder Woman game with the Nemesis system. I'm like, okay, I'm interested. I'm cautiously optimistic because of my distaste towards Warner Brothers and their greedy business practices, but that game was announced in 2021. There was a report that broke just last month, or maybe it was even earlier this month. Gosh, we're still in February. That the Wonder Woman project had been rebooted just last year. And then we flash forward again to now, where we find out that that project has now officially been canceled. There's not going to be a Wonder Woman game. Monolith has been shuttered. And Monolith, just beyond the Middle-earth games, they have such an impressive resume. They created the Fear series, which I've never played, but I've always heard great things about. Really
amazing.
Yeah, it's a cult classic first-person shooter franchise. The stuff that they did with AI in the first game in particular is still held up to this day as like one of the best uses of AI in a video game. Yeah, there you go. Red's got Fear and Fear 2 there.
Ow.
Amazing.
They also made what else did they make? They made an Aliens vs. Predator game. They made Condemned: Criminal Origins. Another.
They made Gotham City Imposters.
Yeah, they did do Gotham City Imposters. So
that was a
they've
fun
had
game
some-
before it was canceled immediately, or not canceled,
Yeah,
but shut down.
and they did.
The Imposters was a good one.
Yeah, it was
What
fun.
else did they do?
I had a lot of fun with
They did. I think No One Lives Forever is another one that they did.
Mhm.
That was that side-scrolling.
Oh yeah,
retro...
and then they did a 90s boomer shooter called Blood, and it was like a Doom kind of knockoff or spiritual successor depending on your perspective. So the fact that this studio with an over 25 year history is just gone, that is just disgusting in my eyes. And now those devs are gonna have to look for work. And you know, again, I was cautiously optimistic about a Wonder Woman game. That was really the only thing Warner Brothers had on the horizon that I had any remote level of interest in. Didn't care about Gotham Knights, didn't care about Suicide Squad, didn't care about multiverses, although I had heard good things. And this is just another example of Warner Brothers trying to, you know, they're trying to invest so much money into their gaming portfolio, but how are you going to invest all this money into your portfolio and not invest it properly or allocate it properly to the teams that are making your games? So yeah, I have more that I want to say, but I'm gonna pass this off to Damarco because you can talk more about multiverses and player first games, because Multiverses is a game that went through a really weird launch cycle.
Yeah, I mean, Multiverses was just kind of a poor execution. They released it and then they took it away for way too long, and then they brought it back in arguably a worse state. And of course that's when
the consensus that I
and of course that's when the monetization really came in and stuff like that too. So people started seeing how overpriced some of the stuff was and getting frustrated by it. So that title all around was unfortunately a great opportunity because it was fun to play. Like, I enjoyed it, but it was also simultaneously a complete grind fest, and it was just not as friendly as it needed to be to keep and maintain an audience over the long haul. Just a really good example of a title that let sort of monetization take precedent over making a good experience. And they also had a steady flow of work that was going into it. With they had plans to have a pretty steady release of characters. They were adding new ones. Some people questioned the decisions, and I would too. For example, they had Finn as a character, like Finn from Adventure Time. They had Jake from Adventure Time. I think they were going to also add Marceline from Adventure Time, and then they did add Banana Guard from Adventure Time, and everyone's like, the hell is why is Adventure Time getting all this stuff? What about literally all of the other DC properties that you could pull from? Mm-hmm. Now, meanwhile, the player first games came out and stated that, well, we did Banana Guard because we thought it would literally just be fun, and we wanted to do something that was fun, so our developers were excited to keep working on the game, right? But of course, people aren't going to hear that. They're only going to hear what they want, which is the studio's not working on what we want them to. I think it's unfortunate. I'm not going to dwell too long on this because I think Arcane, you did a good job, but the only differing opinion I think I can offer here is that I love WB properties. It's among my favorite. Like, the franchises they hold are among some of my favorites. So it's painful to see WB going through the growing pains that they are, and I certainly would call them growing pains. I don't think it's surprising to me as it might be to some people. WB or I'm sorry, not WB Montreal, but the Monolith working on Wonder Woman. That game was taking ages. I mean, Shadow of War came out in 2017. And so they had 5 years of development, and all they showed was a teaser trailer. I can only believe that there was sort of a Suicide Squad situation going on. That
they were working on something else. They started working on Wonder Woman in early 2021, about a few months before they announced it.
Right. So they didn't have anything on the radar of what they were doing. I guarantee you Suicide Squad probably swept in, and because that was live service and David Zaslav is really
a piece of shit.
Dave.
Really,
Hell yeah, got your ass.
really going in with the wrong takeaways, because he is an executive that I don't think understands the gaming industry at all. And so the only thing I could really add is that I'm not as surprised as a lot of people to see this happening. And I hope that some of this allows WB and of course I'm sure James Gunn had some input on this too.
Ooh.
But I only hope that it works to allow them to focus on projects that can come together more idealized and more well managed, so that they don't go through a situation like Avowed, where at first it was an MMO and then it wasn't, or it doesn't go through a Dragon Age the Veilguard where it was 3 different games before the Veilguard came out, and so it doesn't go through what I assume happened to Wonder Woman, or Suicide Squad, where it was supposed to be this live service thing and then it wasn't, and they took right. So
Avowed.
I hope that Avowed. Well, I said Avowed.
Yeah. Avowed.
But I hope that this helps in the long term focus to come through. Whether or not that'll actually happen remains to be seen. We know that WB Games, or we know that Rocksteady's working on another Batman game. So we'll see where that goes and what happens with that. But yeah, it's a shame.
Rocksteady's doing
it's got to this
Batman.
point.
Avalanche is doing Hogwarts Legacy sequel, I believe.
Yeah.
NetherRealm is still going to work on Mortal Kombat and probably another Injustice game, and then
Almost certainly another Injustice. Yeah.
WB Montreal is still around, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so they haven't shuttered all of their studios, but the problem is that here's my final takeaway, because this is genuinely something I could rant on and on and on about. But the last takeaway I'm gonna give here to everybody is, they want to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into game development, especially after seeing the success of something like Hogwarts, and I'll give them credit where credit's due. They recognize the value and the appeal of the IPs they have. Harry Potter, DC, Game of Thrones, just tons of incredible properties. And I've always loved the properties that Warner Brothers has had, but they've just been so poorly mismanaged. And so now the wait for anything of substance from them, like basically a full AAA launch game in the vein of something like a Hogwarts Legacy, we're going to be waiting twice as long now for something like that. And what
I actually would contest that, because it was such a financial success. I think that they're going to go hand over fist for that one. Like they started development on a Hogwarts Legacy sequel. They were like,
so
doing it. They're going.
That's a good point. Maybe it's not the best comparison I can make, but I guess let me just talk. Or say like a DC game, for example. It's going to be years before we see the Batman game that Rocksteady's working on. It's going to be years before we see anything of note from the DC IP. I know that James Gunn has said publicly he wants to put some more effort into making DC licensed games, and I guess where I just see this heading, because they've talked extensively about $200 million lost on Suicide Squad, and then another $100 million loss on something like Multiverses. So they've just continued to lose money. What's probably going to end up happening over the next couple of years while they get their shit together is they are going to, and this is honestly something I've wanted to see Warner Brothers do for a long time, but by choice, not by desperation, and that's that they're going to start licensing out these IPs to third-party developers. You're going to start seeing Warner Brothers do with the DC license what Disney has been doing with Marvel, where they go to a specific developer and they have conversations with them about, like, would you like to work on the Marvel IP? Is there a particular character that interests you? That's how we got stuff like Insomniac's Spider-Man. And it's exciting, the idea that, you know, you could have a really prestigious team work on a Batman game besides Rocksteady strictly, or a Superman game, or a Wonder Woman, or Green Lantern. Like, the possibilities are endless. And based on how much money they've lost, I think they're just gonna double down on licensing out these properties, and they're gonna rake in the royalties from those licensing fees, just like Disney has been for the past several years. And we'll see what comes of it. But that's the last takeaway I wanted to mention, is that I think you're probably going to see some DC Warner Brothers DC Game of Thrones and Harry Potter games coming from studios outside of internally from WB. You're going to start seeing them come from third-party teams.
It's interesting to me because with all the studios being shut down, you would think that. So I'm sorry, Montreal. What did Montreal work on?
They worked on Gotham Knights.
Origins.
Yeah.
And did Gotham Knights? And Origins, Batman Origins.
Yes.
Batman
Yeah,
Origins?
and Origins.
So what have they done lately? Was Gotham
Support.
Knights super just support? Okay, I was gonna say it seems like support studios nowadays are just like they're like the structure of all the other studios. Like,
When did Gotham Knights actually come out? I'm curious.
2021, 4 years ago.
So it's already been 4
No,
years.
wait,
years?
2022.
I was gonna- yeah,
2022.
it was,
Oh,
think
I
it
was thinking
November.
Guardians for
Wasn't
some
it
reason. I was
November
thinking Guardians of the
2022?
Galaxy.
Okay, well that's not. That's
no,
not
I think
a
it was like
terribly
September,
long time,
October.
but isn't that crazy though, that it's been already 3 years since their last full game, and it's likely going to be another 3 to 4 years before we see a full game from them again? Like, that's
Man, I remember when they
That's
first
wild.
teased Gotham Knights with the Court of Owls, like, symbol. Like, I remember that all the way back in, like, 2020 or 2021. I was like, oh,
And
they're
everyone
actually
was
adapting
like,
the Court of Owls.
It's Court of Owls! It's Court of Owls! It's Court of Owls! It has to be!
And then everyone was like, "Oh,
I was
it's
really-
the angsty teens." And
I
everything.
had just been rereading the new 52 comics when the Court of Owls was introduced, so when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, they actually are.
It's like that scene in Family. What's that scene in Family Guy where it's like the family
jackal,
moves
jackal,
into the house?
the
It's
jackal,
jackal,
jackal.
It's jackal. It wasn't the jackal the first 30 times.
Why the hell would it be right that it's it? It just like screams out. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I personally liked Gotham Knights a lot. I didn't. It was one of those things where I saw it and I was like, I don't think I should be like. You had to get hands on with Gotham Knights to really give like a good feel for what it was trying to be. But if they're not shut down and that was like their main gig, that surprises me. I mean, was it successful? I mean, that surprises the hell.
It had to have been. It had to have been successful enough.
The thing is, just to give my quick thoughts on the whole situation, Warner Brothers as a whole is everything that they do is mismanaged, and it's been like this for the past like 12 years or something. Everything that they do, it gets changed. Movies, shows, video games, cartoons, anything. It's nothing. It's like the worst mismanaged. They're like the EA of the industry on like the movie side, where they blame it on the dumb shit, like Andrew Wilson saying, we think that the reason that Availguard failed was because it wasn't live service enough. And it's like, are you you have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
You sure about that? Like,
Sure about that? Yeah, that's what Warner Brothers. It's like they just keep making excuses, and they're like, we're doing fine because it's all about money. I really don't have a whole lot to say about it other than it sucks, and I hope that these developers will find. Listen, my favorite thing to see now on the internet is whenever studios band together after these massive shutdowns and layoffs, and they create studios like Rebel Wolves. What's the other one, Holly? With the Wolf Eye Studios, just anything with the name Wolf in it. All those Wolf Studios are great.
It's so funny.
Wolf,
Somebody
yeah.
commented on one of my videos and was like, there seems to be a lot of Wolf Studios popping up now. And I
love it.
hadn't even thought about that. I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
that's great.
Because they are, man. They're just they're running. They're tight packs, clans running out in the woods together, just licking each other and cleaning each other behind the ears. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's what I hope
for what
we'll
it's
see
worth.
with these studios.
For what it's worth, I think the Monolith team in particular are gonna have some really good luck and good opportunities coming their way, because that's such a talented team, and I mean the same goes for Player First, obviously, in San Diego. I just hope that these people land on their feet and they find good jobs and good replacements, and yeah. So
yeah. Assassin, give me your quick thoughts on this whole thing. If unless everything has been Wolf Red Studios, that will be a thing maybe. Yeah, give me your quick thoughts on all this shunk. Okay, all right, Holly, give me your quick thoughts on all this shunk.
Open up last week's video and just
That's
play
what
that.
you had to say. Fantastic. All right, great. Well, I guess we'll just move on to the fun stuff. And what the hell just happened? Oh, let me switch over here. Okay.
we lost him.
Barney left.
We lost him.
Barney
Man down.
doesn't love us. We're
Man
not a
down.
happy family.
Oh, there he is.
Switch back.
Could you
And-
not?
okay.
Could you not hear me, Red?
No.
Nope.
No, none of us could.
I was talking the whole time. The fuck?
Yeah, we couldn't hear you at all, bro. Yeah, go ahead. Your thoughts on this?
Okay, so hold
That's
on.
an angry cat. Or a child. And if it's a child, then I'm sorry that I called your child a cat. And if it's neither one of those things, then I'm just need to know what's going on.
It was me. That's it. Assassin
That-
next.
that's what it was. All right, great. All right, well, let's move on to. Okay, something's going on with him. So I guess we'll move on and.
Oh, he muted himself now
Yeah,
to get rid of the cat. He threw the cat out the window.
That's all right.
He's just
we'll
like, get
grab
the
his,
fuck out. I'm trying to get my
His
mouse out.
we'll grab his thoughts after.
Yeah,
we'll have to hear
let's do that.
his 2 cents
Oh,
after
man.
the fact. So.
Real quick, I thank you so much, GameSeeker, for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate that. He says, "Hey, if Doom, the Dark Ages introduced a new gun called the Handsominator that fired Henry Cavill skulls. Oh God, yes. Was equipped with a Henry Cavill chin launcher. Would it be your primary weapon, Holly?"
I feel like
The
I'm not a
answer
hard
is yes.
creature to figure out.
Yeah.
Games
The answer is yes.
Is unlock the code and paying attention for like 10 seconds. That's it.
Yep.
For what it's worth, that question applies to me as well, and my answer would be 1000% yes. That would be my primary weapon of choice.
Hey.
I just want Henry Cavill in the game, sort of like how Josh Duhamel was in one of my favorite horror games of all time, which is an amazing horror game that everyone bitched about because they sucked at the
Of
combat.
all time? That's,
Yeah,
wow.
Callisto
All
Protocol.
right.
I love that game so much. It was, God, I love that game so much. It was
I thought it was
amazing.
good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
It was?
Favorite of all time?
Stretching
Who?
it there, kiddo.
I couldn't hear. I didn't know
Not
what you said.
my favorites of all
Stretching
time,
it
but
one.
I enjoyed it for what it was. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Henry's a talented
Henry
guy,
Cavill
so
needs to be Shepard in the Mass Effect TV series.
He'd be good. He would be good at it, but
He could be James
you know,
Bond. He just needs to be everything. And then
well,
we
with
can all...
the stuff that's been going on with Amazon MGM and the James Bond rights, he very well could be the next James Bond. I feel like the chances of him being James Bond now are like so high, it's not even funny.
Yeah. And I think
see what happens.
a lot of people were leaning on his audition from like 22 years ago, and they're like, he's a little wooden. I'm like, he's hard, that's for sure. But you can't judge him, from that far back. He's
Him or you?
Yes, the answer is yes. So I would love. He just needs to be in more things. And again, I just want to shout out to everyone in chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. It's awesome. We're gonna talk about Fable now because that's fun. This is actually really good news.
Fable!
Really
Yes!
good news in a weird way, but let me explain why. So as you guys know, Fable Fable got delayed into 2026, which I think is great. Along with the delay, they showed us new pre-alpha footage of the game, which is fantastic. It was like about a minute long, and I don't know if everyone here has had a chance to actually look at it, but it looked fantastic, and I even said in the video that I put out today, I'm always like, whenever we get like teases and like a snippet of gameplay for stuff, I always try to picture it in my head of what it's gonna look like. And today I got like a look at it, dude. It looked like The Witcher, like the combat wise.
And I'm back.
It didn't. Welcome back. It reminded me so much of the Witcher combat wise. It looked so good.
I was surprised they showed as much as they did, and just like, what was it? It was only a 45-second clip, and there was a lot to kind of parse through in there.
Chickens.
They showed off about everything. They
Yes,
ended it with kicking the chicken.
The chicken
good,
kicking. See, that's how I know Playground is like just gonna nail the vibe of the classic Fable.
I don't know about that one.
I
you
know
don't
about
even
that one.
no, you don't even need to play Fable to know that like kicking a chicken is a thing in Fable. Like,
oh yeah, it's memed. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a really big
Well, you
vote of
might know
confidence.
about kicking chickens, but you might not know it's from Fable specifically.
I don't know.
If you're working on a Fable game, you probably know that kicking the chicken is from Fable.
Well,
I
not
just think
Fable. I
that
thought you
style of humor that the game's had, it's Monty Python-esque. And
Yeah, the trailer showed that. Yeah.
Based on everything they've shown thus far, which isn't a lot, but what they have shown has given me enough confidence that I think they're probably gonna nail the tone and the vibe. So.
Yeah. Jacob 2+ says, and to think that that's pre-alpha, we could be in for a treat. Yeah, well said. Exactly. Yeah, I know what you mean, Arcane. I think you just mean like it looks like they're leaning in. I said in my video that this was so cool to see, like a Wolverine. And what are the little troll things
That
called?
was crazy, dude. They're so
Man.
much bigger than they were in the original games. That thing was huge. I
They're
was like,
scary.
holy shit.
And I think it's so cool to see the modern version of the things that we've loved, like the Wolverine, the little troll monsters. I mean, like,
well, the fact that you said it's
We haven't even seen the
pre-alpha,
full troll yet.
it's pre-alpha and it already looks that good. Like
Yeah.
that's I forget oftentimes that it's like this is running on the Forza engine. Like this is crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and so Craig Duncan, who's the head of Xbox Studios, talked today about it was a lot of PR speak, but you know, you can tell he's I don't know too much about his history, but that was one of the first times that I've watched.
Playground.
He's just from Playground. Okay. And he's also
He
head
came
of
from
Xbox
Rare.
Studios. Okay, I couldn't remember where that's what
Sorry, Rare.
yeah.
England.
Yeah. The same thing.
Same place.
When in
Yeah.
Rome.
When in England.
No, right when in Britain.
Yeah, so but he was just talking about what I took out of it was something that I said a long time ago. It's like the Guerrilla Games effect, where Guerrilla Games was held to this first-person shooter genre for so many years, and then whenever they were finally able to like branch out and let their creative juices explode all over the place, they made a great game with a new third-person open world, brand new IP, brand new idea. And the Playground team have been stuck with racing games, and they're amazing. I mean, they are just like the top of the line racing games, and so they've been stuck to that for so long. So finally, they're like, we can do something with humans and people, and it's third person, and it's open world, and it's fantasy. And I think that this team, and again, this game has to have been in development for at least over 6 years. So I'm just really excited to see. So anyway, Craig Duncan was basically saying like this is coming from a very passionate team that puts out banger games that are super high praised, and they are not the type of studio to really talk a whole lot until it's time to release a game. And so that was really good to hear him say like, look, you should be excited that we're delaying the game because you should trust us by this point. Like that was sort of my takeaway from all that. But yeah, Holly, what'd you think about Fable? Are you excited about it? Or
Yeah. I really
did you
like
play the old ones? Okay, I didn't know if you played the old ones.
Mhm. Yeah, I will say though, it's another one of those games that when you play it now, the mechanics are
Its age is
Frustrating.
very evident.
I
it's
tried.
another one of those. I got to the final boss and I was like, that's it. I just assume it's beat because I got I was just frustrated because I kept trying. Mechanics were killing me, and I was like, I beat the game.
Well, you know, with somebody
It
like
matters semantics at this
Peter
point.
Molyneux being the franchise director back in the day, which I don't remember when it was, but like Red did like a pitch perfect Peter Molyneux impression a while back that just was
We
hilarious.
are going to create
Yeah, there
new
it is.
technology with the power of touch. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
PlayStation
Dude, it's
5.
It's so good, man. It's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So. I think it was always kind of, in my eyes at least, a little bit of wishful thinking to assume that this game was going to launch this year. I had a feeling. I was like,
No,
it's
it was going to
gotta be
launch
a
this year, but
2026
Jacob brings
thing.
up the point. Jacob brings up what I was going to... Well, he already talked about what I was going to bring up.
Yeah, the
Yeah, go
GTA.
ahead.
effect.
Fable was going to be 2025. Fable is just the first game to delay because of GTA 6. We don't know if it's even still going to hit this year or if it's not.
Go ahead.
First.
What do you mean?
What are your thoughts?
On Fable?
Yeah, or just life in general.
Well, yeah,
You-
Fable looks amazing.
Okay.
It was exactly what I wanted. And it's funny, Red, that you brought up The Witcher 3, because I told you before, the combat director is from CD Projekt Red that worked on The Witcher 3.
I forgot
So,
about
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so when I saw the gameplay, I was like, "Yep, that's Witcher-like, all right."
That's
Especially,
yeah. Okay, like people always say, like, because I'm one of those people. I'm like the Souls-like genre is so, even like South of Midnight. It's not a Souls-like. However, at first glance, it is the same lock-on, centered your third-person camera right in the middle of the screen, with a little dot in the middle, and that's it. It does. So when people say like you just what, so every third-person combat game is like a Souls-like, so that's The Witcher. It's not the same at all. Like, so Fable is doing that. You can see clearly the camera is way lower and it's right behind your character. It's much more focused. It's not as free as in like wide open.
I
guess,
honestly
as
did
a
not-
Souls-like.
like the camera is close enough behind the character where it's kind of like God of War in that sense, but not too far in. But then when it switches to combat, it looks like it zooms out to where
Pulls out
The
a
Witcher
bit,
kind of
yeah.
did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
And Witcher did do that. Yeah, like whenever the more enemies on the screen, it was sort of like pulls out. A little
Like you
bit
could
to
set
give
the
you more
camera
view.
to be behind Geralt, and when you initiate combat or when enemies ambush you, it pans out.
Exactly.
That's what it looks like Fable is going to do. I was actually surprised that they actually showed how much they did. I honestly didn't even realize. I was a bit caught off guard with the main character riding the horse. You know how Playground has done racing games, so I was like, I wonder how the animators felt doing this. Like they went from animating car parts moving together in one synchronized motion, and now they're working on horses.
Right. Yeah, and I'm
I
excited
imagine
to
Or
see
just
how-
probably
characters
pretty
walking in
refreshed.
general?
They saw that and they were like, "Oh my god, finally!"
a horse.
But then they immediately like they just went straight to like a Mustang and they were like, "Good, it's familiar. I know what this is."
Exactly. This horse will
I'm
be named
comfortable.
Ferrari.
Fun fact though, Red, did you know that this game was originally not going to be Fable in the first place?
No, what was it going to be?
Playground had actually brought they had brought the game to Microsoft to publish it, but when Microsoft saw it and saw what they were doing, they're like, you know, this could be a new
Oh.
Fable.
Okay.
And then Playground just decided, well, all right, well, since you said that, now it's gonna be Fable.
Okay.
So yeah, originally this game was supposed to be a new IP, but then I don't know exactly how that talk went, but somehow Microsoft convinced Playground to change it towards Fable. Somehow, I have no idea. I have no idea how they did that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad that they did, because it
Me
looks
too.
fucking amazing.
Yeah,
I hope
me
we
too,
get
man.
to see like an actual like gameplay demo, like 5 or 6 or however many minutes of actual someone playing the game
Yeah.
this summer for the showcase. That's that's really what I want to see. I know that pre-alpha is, different than the final product, but man, I just need to see like actual, like shot-for-shot gameplay. I hope we get that this summer.
I want to see
because this tease is not helping. This tease is not helping me for being patient.
Right. I do want to see character creation.
It's a good problem.
I think that Fable is known for you pick a boy or a girl, and that's just how they look, because in every Fable game you start off as a kid, and I can guarantee you that's what they're gonna do with this one. Like I can just guarantee you. But because of that, I think that the female character that we're seeing is going to be, that's just what she's going to look like. I'm sure you'll be able to like change the hair and all that stuff too. So whatever male character that we get, it might be set, but I could be completely wrong. The only reason I say that is because it would be a lot of work to make. Now they did this with like Fallout 4 is a weird example, but in Fallout 4, you create your wife, you create your the husband, and there's a baby that's created depending on how you look. In technology nowadays, we could see like our created character look. Assassin, mute yourself.
Or turn your TV down.
I can just hear his whole mouth. It's great. But so I don't know. What do you think, Damarco? I'm sorry, just straight up. Anyway, sorry about that. Damarco, what do you think about character creation in Fable? Do you think it's going to be?
I'm not let me tell you.
Yeah, go ahead. Get it out. Yep.
Look, I
Piss off, all of you, but yeah, I'm sorry.
As you do, Hot Pocket.
we just so you just want to know my thoughts on character creation?
Well, I want to know your whole thoughts, but please start with character creation. Do you think there's going to be a character creation, or do you think it's going to be like in Fable?
Yes.
Are we going to be like locked? Okay.
Yeah, I think there'll be. I know that's not. I know that's not traditional for Fable. But I think that I'm not expecting anything robust. I'm not expecting anything crazy. Like even Avowed wasn't that impressive, if I'm being honest. Avowed
it was
kind of
functional.
lame.
Yeah.
It was there.
Fungalsworth would beg to differ.
Listen, I had a lot of fun making him, but like as far as like I had fun because it was like, hey, you need to have this ridiculous, hideous thing on your face, and you can hide it, but all the NPCs are gonna still pretend it's there. So I'm like, all right, if they're just gonna dress this thing like it's there, let me just actually make it something to call out. So when I meet the first NPC and they're like, what the F? There's a reason why they're saying that.
Yeah.
So I had fun. I had fun with that one, but like all in all, it was fine. It was there.
Did you play all the Fable games?
No, I played a little bit of Fable 3. I had a hard time getting into Fable 3. I liked what they did with some of the stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did like the kind of leadership mechanics that were sort of there. I thought that was neat. But I never played Fable 1. I did beat Fable 2 though. And I really liked Fable 2. I played Fable 2 at the right age where I was young enough and I was like, ooh, like I think they had like some kind of a romance mechanic thing in the game where you could like do something naughty, but like it was PG-13 naughty, but like I was young enough where I was like, oh my god, it's he!
If I put my hand here and you put your hand next to mine.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit like that.
That's just how.
That's how you woohoo. It's like The
exactly.
Sims. Like that's how you woohoo.
Yep. They just kissed and like, I'm pregnant.
So like I think I played it at the right age where that stuff, or like when raising the rent on all the houses add to exorbitant rates and you're like, but they're all mine, you can't move anywhere else. Like
and
you just
evil
felt
because of it. I love it.
Yeah. So I played it at the right. Like if I played Fable 2 now, I think I would go and it'd be like, I can go play something else. Like I don't.
You don't
go make another
back to
fungal person. Yeah, go play another fungal person in Avowed, I guess.
Well,
but
what are you excited to see with this Fable? Like, what are your general thoughts overall? Is it
I think a more mature combat system. Like the combat looks a lot of fun when you're slashing your sword, and then she has the character has that dramatic like fireball. Like it looks visually, at the very least, it looks different, and that I'm excited about for it. The character creation, as long as I can make them look a little different, that's fine to me. But all in
Do you
all, the
think
whole,
there's gonna be character creation?
I think it'll be minor, but yeah, I think you'll be able to tweak, just because that's sort of a modern thing. Like, even any of these games, I know you're shaking your head. No, any of these games that even you think to something like
And it's actually annoying that all of these games have character creators.
what is it, like the
Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring.
well,
Well,
you need it in Baldur's Gate. That's D&D.
Yeah.
Well, you
I
don't
think there's a
necessarily
time
need it
and a
in Elden
place.
Ring, though.
I think there's a time and a place. If it's
No,
a
but you
narrative,
want
if
it
it's
in
a heavy
Elden Ring.
narrative. Yeah, Elden Ring is fine. The narrative is,
Yeah.
But I just honestly feel like there's a lot of narrative-driven games that are kind of opening up these options for character creators, but like you design this game with this intent for this character, right? Like Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just use Ellie, right, from The Last of Us, right? Like I think that and to me, Fable is another one of those, right? Like you've designed this game with this particular character in mind. That's why they keep showing us the same female over and over, right? And
Well, they do that
No, I just think-
they do that for Elder Scrolls though too, don't they? They have like, this is your default, and they
but Elder
market it with
Scrolls
those
is a large
characters.
open world game, right? Where
They do it with Fallout. They do it with...
I think it
I
might
don't
be
know.
like
I
marketing,
could be
right?
wrong, but
Isn't Fable's an open world game?
But it's different though. It's not like a continuous. Like Elder Scrolls is meant to be an online continuous.
Holly,
know,
are you
world.
saying like, are you saying that you think that it's going to be just the chick because it's going to be narrative
Yeah.
focused?
No, there's gonna be a guy.
There's
So-
two
No,
options:
there's
boy
always
and
a guy.
girl,
A
right?
boy and a girl.
Yeah, boy
right.
and girl.
I'm with you. If that's what you're saying, Holly, then I'm with you. I don't think that you're going to be able to customize her or the guy.
Like their look. Yeah,
Their look,
it's,
right,
it's
exactly.
Just one or the other.
You can change their hair and give them a beard and clothes and stuff like that, but not their face, I don't think. And again, I think it ties into just the way that Fable presents itself, especially in the intro, because you always start off as a kid. So if you have like a completely different skin color, and like I said, I don't think like nowadays technology, they could make it work, like where they make it look like the child version of the character that you just created. But it would have to be so dumbed down. I just can't imagine that. So if that's what you're saying, I agree with you. I don't think that you're.
Or
gonna
you'd
be able
have to design the kid and then have them grow up. with
right,
that
and
in
then they
mind.
turn into like what Damarco was saying, like, what the hell is that thing? Yeah. So yeah. So yeah.
It just turns your character into Quasimodo.
Yeah, exactly. BT Maverick, thanks so much for that, bro. I'll get to that in one sec. Sorry, I didn't want you to lose your train of thought, Holly, or DeMarco, or maybe you guys were talking and I interrupted.
I interrupted.
I more
Sorry.
or less finished my thought. Like, yeah.
Okay. All right. Arcane, have I asked you how you are today? Have I told you how handsome you are?
Have I told you lately
Stop.
that you're
Stop.
handsome?
Stop. No,
Stop these.
I don't have a whole lot to say on Fable, really, just because I feel like we haven't seen enough of it. Like, the stuff they've shown has been very impressive, and I mentioned it earlier, the fact that we saw so much in just a 45-second gameplay snippet. As somebody who played the Fable games in their formative years growing up, I have a lot of fond memories of that franchise, so I was seeing a lot, like, and Red, you said it already, the creatures, like the little goblins and the Wolverine in particular, and we saw it in the CG trailer they had at the showcase last year, but the giant troll with, like, the vines coming off of it, or it was like a rock golem or something. They are nailing a lot of things that I think would be important in a modern reinterpretation of the Fable IP. I'm happy it's been delayed, and honestly, I anticipated a delay. I was like, 2025 was optimistic in my opinion. I was like, there's a very high chance they're going to push this out
It
of
looked
2025.
polished, though. To be fair, I mean, I know it's easy to get. Or I say easy. It's easy to get a when you're showing those really concise clips. But I mean,
the
what they
vertical
show,
Yeah.
slices,
like
I-
it looked like compare that to like Avowed and how Avowed completely shifted its direction, right? Maybe that's just what I'm relating it to be honest. Avowed, we saw the teaser, then the actual trailer came out. We got, oh, wait, what happened? But this has been
Yeah.
consistent,
Yeah.
so
it's
they have
been-
a clear direction.
Yeah, I think based on what we've seen and heard and read and whatnot, it doesn't seem to me like they've had any sort of internal trouble development-wise. Like, it's been a consistent vision for the game, which is something that far too few games have nowadays, is a consistent vision from beginning to end.
Yeah.
But I thought about, like, okay, these are the games that Xbox has coming already this year. It's Doom, South of Midnight, and then
Doom.
yeah, Doom. But then, like, you think about all of, like, the big one is 2K or Take-Two. They got the next Mafia, Civilization just came out, Borderlands 4, GTA 6. They're gonna have a huge year, and that doesn't even include all of the others that I'm likely forgetting right now. But 2025 is already stacked. So
EA with the new
and-
Battlefield.
Yeah, EA.
Capcom.
with the new
2025?
Battlefield.
What?
Is that in 2025?
Yeah, they confirmed that it is this year.
Probably, yeah. I would say probably, yeah. So,
I'm excited to see.
hopefully that's good.
We
and
talked
Yeah,
about
I don't
like,
have high expectations, but I am excited.
Yeah.
Capcom with Monster Hunter. Microsoft and Obsidian just barely dropped one of the biggest fantasy RPGs of the year with Avowed, and I just felt like in my heart of hearts, Fable was probably not going to come out this year, and this reporting today from Craig Duncan, or not reporting, but what he said, like, take it straight from the horse's mouth, basically just confirmed my suspicion that, yeah, this game's going to be better off in 2026, where it's far enough out that they'll be able to get some good work done on the project. And by that point, when did this game even start development? Like
2017. And by the way, just to
there you go.
let me give you a little bit more information, Arcane, or just some thought. Tom Warren is saying that Fable could have been delayed because they want to move it out of the way for
Right,
for Gears.
For Gears. Okay, well, that's a totally different thing.
Gears of War E-Day. He's
Do you
still
think-
holding on to that
do
2025
you think,
date.
too,
I have
this-
no idea.
I don't think that
But
game is
if it-
2025 either.
If
to be
Gears
completely
was
honest.
2025, though, I could
I'd love
easily
to be
understand
wrong.
why they pushed Fable.
Do you think
I could
too that
easily
it could be a Starfield DLC coming this year? I'm serious.
Fable
Marco?
moving because of Starfield?
I'm not
Come
saying
on.
No, that's not what I asked, Assassin. Calm down.
Yes,
Come
I
on.
think
They
there
have-
will be at least
They
one
have
more
all
DLC.
of there's all of this other stuff going on, but then on top of that, you're just adding more to the pile. And you're like, oh, and we also have that DLC coming out for Starfield. Like, we want
I
to give
think
that.
you'd convince me more if the reason releasing 2 RPGs in a year is already a pretty big deal for any publisher. But 3,
That's what I'm saying. That's why adding in a DLC on top of that. So like, let's Fable.
Yeah, and
if
the
they were smart, they
Indiana
Starfield
Jones
where
has
it is
DLC coming too in the next couple of months. But no, Gears would be interesting. That one, I don't know. I feel that one is also likely a 2026 game. I don't feel like that one is 2025. I would love to be wrong though, because I love Gears and I've been waiting for the next Gears of War for what feels like a millennia now. And as far as what Colt said in the chat, yeah, no, it obviously not just GTA releasing, it would be the reason for them pushing the delay of Fable. There's likely multiple other factors, but I don't want people to discount just how massive of an effect GTA is going to have on everything when it comes out. That, like,
Yeah, I don't
it's
think
like a
everybody is.
hurricane. Everybody needs
Yeah.
to get out of the way of that. But
The only
yeah,
I would kind of
honestly,
disagree with
I
that.
I
there.
agree with Colts. Like, it just probably wasn't going to be ready this year in or be polished in enough time that it would be acceptable to launch it this year. Fable, I mean. So
So
Damarco,
regarding
what
the
headset
whole,
do you have? Sorry, just real quick, because Abdel wanted to know what headset you have.
These are the Arctis Nova Pros wired. They are fantastic. I can wear
Arctis
them
is
for
great.
very long periods of time. Honestly, one of the most beautiful features about it is, if I could get it here, this little dock. I thought this would be annoying, especially because I have the wired version, so you can see, like, I have the power cable and then I have the, the actual headphone cable. So I thought this would be really, really annoying. But honestly, one of the most convenient things that I've absolutely loved is I have this. Of course, it's not going to be able to focus well enough. This is close. I'll be able to get it. But I have this mixer. So, like, if I want to
Ooh.
switch between game volume and, like, you could just see that little dial going.
That's so
If I want to
cool,
switch
yeah.
between, like, so that I could hear you guys more clear, or if we're in a party playing a game together and I'm like, no, I want to hear the story, and Red keeps yammering on,
No.
and I can't hear nothing, and then I could just turn you all the way down and only hear the game volume just by going like, whoop. So, like, it's honestly a pretty, and on top of that, the other thing too, especially for content creation, is it has a built-in mixer. I know a lot of tools have that, but this one is actually fairly nice to use. So there you go.
There you
Arctis
go.
Nova Pro. Expensive headset. It's not a cheap one. I definitely treated myself.
that's the Steel series, right?
Yes, yeah. It's
Okay.
definitely, on the pricier side, but I would say if you have, trying to treat yourself, it's a good pair to get.
Fantastic.
Also, Steel Series has this app that you can download on your PC called GG, and it's like gg.com or something like that. It's actually pretty legit great because it will randomly auto record or take clips from your gameplay from the last game that you played based on, like, when it notices ramps up in intensity or whatever the case is. And so, like, when we were playing Lethal Company and all of those things were happening the last time, I didn't
How could
touch
we
anything.
forget?
I didn't do anything. I went into that Steel Series app and it had just snapshotted like all of the things.
Oh, because the volume was
we
cranked up, so it was
auto-
like,
I
oh,
think
we're
I
capturing
have
it.
some like random clips that got captured from Among Us when we're not Among Us.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
Lethal Company when we were playing Lethal Company.
It's
I think it, like,
really
captured a
actually
couple random
super
moments,
good
yeah.
intuitive. Yep.
That is fantastic.
We need to one of these days like actually get a stream together. Like, we all play it and we're all streaming it, and that would be fun.
I could try to play that clip. I don't want to promise anything. I could try to play that clip from that night, because no one got to see that.
It's
We
unforgettable.
we played. Oh, I do have it actually. I'll see if I can integrate that here in a minute and play that for you guys, just because it was so funny. Because I never made it public or anything like that. But
Oh, you
yeah,
didn't?
it's-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I never made it public because I was like, this might like hurt my channel. Because people are gonna be like, what the hell am I watching? But anyway, real quick, I just want to shout out to all these new people. But by the way, Abdel, I see you all the time. You're just like you and BT Maverick and Jacob Tupwa and Noise Mofo and so many other people. I see you in so many other chats, but I don't think, has Abdel ever been in our chat before? I don't know. Either way, it's good to see you, man. I appreciate you. Game on Jesse. I'm just seeing so many new people here, and I appreciate you guys so much. If you're new here, consider subscribing. We go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, and 1 p.m. I don't know. Anyway, those are the times. So yeah. Anyway, it's usually the four of us here, and Arcane's guesting with us, and we're having a great time. So if you're having a great time, consider subscribing. It would be fantastic because we love you. And real quick, I just want to shout out BT Maverick. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He says, "Have you guys?" Thank you, Arcanes. He says, "Have you guys played any of Steam's Next Fest games? and / recommendations. It's like gamers Christmas for me to get to try all these awesome demos. Thank you guys.
I was actually looking at it right now. They've got some interesting stuff on here. I'll have to check it out, I think, at some other point. But yeah, just a lot of demos for like up and coming indies and AA games, and just some really interesting stuff they have going on there.
Yeah, so one of the games, it might be, you guys might have to check this, but the game is called Imperial. I made a short little review impression video on it. I was able to play that game early, put a couple hours into it, just to give my impressions on it. I didn't want to like make this huge review video on it because there's a lot to discover, and I was like, it's kind of hard to parse. A lot. But that was one of the games in Steam Next Fest. So I don't know if that demo is available. It's spelled funny. It's spelled like this. Imperial. It's spelled like that
right now,
in chat. And it's made by a team of about a dozen people, and they're so passionate, and like they even like commented on my channel and were like, thanks for making the little video. And it's just the thing that blew me away, it was the combat is so good. Like, it is really functional. Like, it has action canceling. So for anyone who doesn't know what that term means, it basically just means you could be like in the middle of an attack and you are about to get hit, and you can just jump out of the way in the middle of an attack. And everything just feels like whenever you screw something up, or sorry, whenever you get hit, it's you that screwed up. And you're like, that was my bad. So that might be available as a demo right now.
It is. I'm looking at it right now. Actually,
go check that out. So there's one there's my recommendation. I don't know if anyone else has anything.
You guys should definitely watch Red's video if you haven't already. I watched it the other day, and I had never even heard of this game. So
thanks, man.
Why I appreciate you, is because you're bringing attention to a game that maybe not a lot of other people would have discovered otherwise. So
yeah, thanks, man. And they were so nice, like behind the scenes. They were just so excited to get into everyone's hands. It was a great experience just working with them just for the short little time that I played. And hopefully I can cover
and
it
that
more
was
as it evolved.
What is that company called again? Secret Mode?
Yeah, Secret Mode is the developers behind that. Published by I
was gonna say they sound really familiar. I need to look them up because I feel like they've published some stuff maybe I'm familiar with.
Yeah, their publisher, I can't remember who they are, but yeah, they got something really special on their hands. It's sort of like a roguelike.
Oh yeah,
kind of?
They did. I never actually played this one, but and I still want to. But they did still Wakes the Deep, the survival horror on the oil rig.
Ooh, I love that game.
That's them.
Yeah, they
What?
published that one.
Yo, Holly played and beat that, didn't you?
I still need to play it. I heard it was so good. I really
It is
need
good.
to check that one out. They also did Dear Esther, which is
Oh, I've heard of that too.
that one's supposed to be really good, and I think a couple of other ones here I'm not particularly familiar with, but pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah. So check that out. Wow, what a interesting. This is what we were just talking about, guys. Like whenever a studio does one thing, and then they just do a whole different thing, and they just like and it keeps everything fresh, like creatively. For me, like it's like sort of like how musicians, like whenever I write a song, like you're sort of stuck in this one genre for so long, and you just want to make an acoustic song after a while, or like you just want to do like a cyberpunk synthwave song after a while because you're so used to doing the same thing. So I love that these studios are sort of giving themselves some breathing room creatively. I love that.
To Slow Lark in the chat, yes, Still Wakes the Deep was the Chinese room.
Yeah, I was just barely responding to him. Those were the guys who actually developed it.
Yeah, they're the ones that actually developed it, and they're actually the ones that are currently on Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, if I recall.
I was just about to mention that they're doing the sequel to.
They're doing the sequel right now.
Red peer pressured me into playing.
Wait,
it's they're called the Chinese Room.
The Chinese Room.
That's right. Yeah.
It's the same studio that did Still Wakes the Deep, and they're the ones who are working on Vampire Masquerade 2 right now.
Okay, I'm sorry. So now so Chinese Room did Still Wakes the Deep.
They were the developers.
Okay.
Secret Mode was the publisher.
Okay.
And they are currently developing the sequel to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
Wow. What the?
Yeah.
That is crazy. That's
well,
insane.
and that game has gone through 3 different studios over the past several years.
I think that's
that
why
game has been in a bad spot for a while now.
Yeah, man. I was actually gonna make a video on Vampire 2 whenever that trailer came out, like 1,000 years ago. I was like, this gameplay looks amazing, and then just silence, nothing. I'm like, well.
Well, I tell you what. Now that I've actually started the original game, I'm a lot more curious about a sequel. I need to finish the first one, obviously, but on a modern engine, modern gameplay, that one's probably going to be pretty exciting. If done well, if done correctly, we'll see.
Yeah.
So,
any other recommendations from Steam Next Fest? Is there anything, Holly?
Yeah, I haven't played it, but Colt brought it to my attention, and now I'm super interested in it. There's this game called Twisted Tower. It looks a lot like BioShock. Matter of fact, I think actually Ken Levine made some comments about it, like very positively. So it's in demo. It's not, obviously it's not out yet, but it looks like that demo is also up as well.
heavy BioShock vibes from this one.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah, it looks
That's
so
interesting.
cool. So I'm gonna try that one out.
Yeah, there's a lot, like probably too much to anybody in the chat watching that plays on PC. If you're on Steam, you can just kind of scroll through, find your next favorite indie game on the Steam Next Fest, because they hold that every year, and they always they have some real gems hidden in there if you care to look for them.
Fantastic.
If you don't have to look.
You don't have to look. I do want to try to play this video. Let me just see if this pops up, because it would be hilarious if I can get this.
You need sound too. Just to make sure.
Right. I just want to make sure, and I'm sure you guys can see this weirdness right now. I'm trying to like make a scene. If you guys just bear with me, chat. Don't go anywhere. Hang on.
I found a little. Wait, no. Come here. Look at him. Look at him. Look at this.
There's. I'm not doing anything.
I've got.
Okay,
All right, there
I
we
don't
go.
hear any of
Okay.
the audio.
All right. Let me try this.
I found a little. Wait, no. Come here. I found a little. Wait, no. Come here. Look at him. Look at him. Look at this. Let's get him out of here really quickly.
What the fuck?
What in the? I just found a magnifying glass. Oh, you guys suck.
Marco! Oh shit.
Damarco? Oh shit. I'm over.
Oh no, I'm dead. I'm dead.
What is it?
Slenderman. Slenderman.
Greg?
He's gonna have to keep his flashlight. Oh, there's the ship. Come on, man. Oh, you just got spotted. Oh my god! Out, bro. Oh no! Oh my gosh, dude. This.
All right, anyway. There we go. Hope you guys enjoyed that little. I was gonna post it on the channel, but anyway, I just wanted to share it with you because it was such.
Jesus
such
Christ.
a fun.
Bro, I couldn't get up the damn ladder.
You were so mad. Everyone was
I
mad
was
at some
so-
point.
I was
Oh, man.
hopping desperately. I was like, please.
I love the angle that I got from the perspective. You just see you trying to get up the ladder, and the camera pans over, and the monster is just like right here behind you. It's so good.
Damarco's baby.
Yeah, literally, I love it. Jacob 2+ says, fun fact, that's actually what happens when you shake a baby. It's so good. Oh my god. Game adaptation, I didn't enjoy that at all. Yes, you did. Don't lie to us. Anyway. All right, yeah, anything else? Anything else going on? We got a few minutes. Oh, Assassin, just your quick thoughts before I forget on the WB thing. Did you have anything to add there with...
Yeah, I was trying to go back to that the whole time, but honestly, there's nothing really to add except I'm just shocked that we had to get to this point for Warner Brothers to actually quote-unquote clean house. I mean, I read the report a couple days ago that Duty Gunn and the new head for Warner Brothers gaming division had actually went to NetherRealm and Rocksteady about making new games in the DC universe. But then, like 2-3 days later, this comes out. It's like, I'm not exactly confident about NetherRealm and Rocksteady making anything at the moment. Like with Suicide Squad, that the original team that made the Batman Arkham trilogy, they're gone. They went to 100 Star Games. That new studio from Sefton Hill, and I forget the other guy that actually founded Andy Walker. Yeah, that actually founded Rocksteady. So a good majority of the team went there. Honestly, I'm just. I like how we were memeing on Ubisoft the past 2 months about them like going under, and then Warner Brothers was just sitting there like. They don't know yet.
Well, I mean, there's plenty more reasons to meme on Ubisoft right now if you want.
Well, yeah, because they're the
very
industry's
briefly.
punching bag, even though they really shouldn't be.
Well, not for that, but there was one like little teeny tiny thing that happened with Ubisoft this week. I don't know if anybody wants to dig into that very briefly before we get to the end.
No.
No? Oh, okay.
No, because there's no point. Everyone already hates Assassin's Creed Shadows, so there's no point.
The damage is
Man,
done.
that poor game can't catch a break.
No,
It never
really
can.
can't.
Was there something else that
Never-
happened recently with Assassin's Creed?
Yes.
The
Full copy.
the entire
The entire game has leaked. Physical
Oh.
copies are now out in
Okay,
the wild.
I heard about that,
Yeah.
but I wasn't sure what had happened.
Yeah, but that's like
Somebody
for an
stole-
entire game.
They got a
to
pallet
leak,
off the back of a truck.
That's crazy.
Oh, it was one of those. Okay, yeah.
That's wild.
Okay, yeah. That's.
I think they already put out a public statement about it, saying like,
They did, yeah.
Don't share spoilers and. But yeah, Holly's right. That game can and likely never will catch a break.
It
up
never
until-
will, and it'll be worse at launch. I guarantee you. The culture war effect will be instantaneous when it
Yeah.
launches.
Yeah.
Hey, did
You know,
anybody play Detroit Become Human?
I did not
No,
play it,
but
I
my
watched
girlfriend
I
loves that
watched the
game.
full playthrough of it.
I haven't played it. I heard it's really good.
Let me guess.
good.
Is it
It
on
got
PC?
updated.
Oh, are you gonna talk about the Quantic Dream thing?
It just passed 11 million in sales, and it came out in
Oh wow.
was it 2019
20
something like that,
2017.
2017.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
really good. I actually, after I finished it, I was really super skeptical about it, but I think PlayStation was giving it away at one point, and I played it and it was really good. Like, and it's one of those choose your own adventure style, right? So you choose a branch in a decision tree. And so you never open that other one, right? Unless you go back and play it again to see what happens on that one. And they give you like the tree to show you like
branches out
to get you where you are.
everything. Yeah.
It's kind of ironic that both Wonder Woman and Star Wars Eclipse were announced at the Game Awards like 3 years ago, and we got updates for both of them today.
It's funny that Holly mentioned Detroit Become Human because, I shared this in our group chat, so I'll just bring this up very briefly. But Quantic Dream, the team that did Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain, they're doing that Star Wars Eclipse game. And apparently the game is set to be published by NetEase, the Marvel Rivals people.
Oh, great.
Fuck.
The news apparently is that game is safe. It is still deep into development, and their funding for that project is still secure, at least for now.
Thank you.
So we'll see what happens with that. But I remember when that cinematic trailer they released, I remembered watching it, wondering like, what on earth is this? Like, I recognized the alien species that like Greedo is part of or whatever. So I'm like, okay, this is something.
It's kind of Rhodian.
Yeah, Rhodian. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, thank you. But like, I was watching it and I was like, what is this? Is clearly something Star Wars, but what is it? And then you get the title thing, Star Wars Eclipse, and it's from the Heavy Rain and Detroit people. It's like, oh, okay, so a narrative-based choose your own adventure Star Wars game sounds interesting, but
I remember when that trailer dropped, it was so controversial because it was Quantic.
Yeah, Quantic, I think, has some history with troubled development and internal culture at the studio, but we'll see. And yes, Slow Lark, that was the trailer with the guys hitting the big gong in the background. But
in the beginning,
yeah, with everything that's going on with NetEase and all of their layoffs, and they're cutting funding for a ton of projects, we'll see what happens with that game. But just thought I'd briefly mention that towards the end here. So
yeah, Jacob 2 Plus
seems like every publisher.
So long ago, it does feel like that trailer was like 6 years ago. Back when
that's because it basically almost was.
Was it really? Okay.
Most of those games have finally come out.
I don't think it was that long ago, but it was. I think Assassin made a good point. I think it was actually right around the same time Wonder Woman was teased, which would have been 2020.
No, it was exactly. It was the Game Awards.
It was
2021.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it was Star Wars Eclipse, and they showed off Wonder Woman, and they went straight to Alan Wake 2.
Okay.
I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got updates for Wonder Woman and Star Wars Eclipse today. Just not the ones we were hoping for Wonder Woman at least.
For Wonder Woman, for Star Wars Eclipse, it's still a wait and see. It's crazy that out of those three you mentioned, Alan Wake was the one that got out mostly scot-free.
Yeah.
Good for them. They deserve that win. They deserve that win.
I can't wait to play it.
So yeah.
I actually am finally gonna start the Lake House. Probably tonight.
I was just gonna give you so much crap about that. Like,
are you serious? I'm literally planning on.
I thought about it yesterday.
Yep.
Yesterday, I literally thought, why has this guy not played this? I thought he's gonna play this. I really want him to play. Why hasn't he played this?
And I'm so into like the lore. This is so weird. Like I've been having trouble sleeping forever, but the past like 2 months it's been just awful. And so there is a video that everyone should go check out if you're interested in the lore of Alan Wake, or like you haven't played Alan Wake 2 and you want to get like recapped. There's a video. The channel name is called Hidden Machine, and he's got this amazing like feature-length video that's just so fun to watch, super concise, really cohesive with the way that he explains the lore to get you ready for Alan Wake 2. And I've been putting that on the TV, either on the TV or like in my earbud, just to like go to sleep to. And by this point, I'm just like an expert on the Alan Wake lore, and so I was actually planning on finally starting it tonight because I want to do another playthrough of Alan Wake 2. And I thought about doing the final draft, but I'm not big on New Game Plus because I don't know about you guys in chat, but like, I'm not big on New Game Plus games only because a lot of games, like whenever I start from the beginning, I want to feel helpless. I want to feel like I'm, you know what I mean, Damarco? Like you want to feel like you're building yourself from the ground up, and New Game Plus just feels like you just start off and you have everything right off the bat.
100% agree. I do not want to have all that. That's why I restart games over and over, because I like that low level feeling. Like it genuinely is one of the most fun parts of the game for me.
I still haven't played it yet, which is it's a crime, honestly. It's blasphemy that I haven't played it. Lake House or the Final Draft, but my understanding of the Final Draft is that the reason you want to play it is because they actually add new cutscenes. You know how like sometimes you'll run across the TVs and you'll see Mr. Door and it's like a thing or whatever. There's new versions of those in there involving a character from Control. And on top of that, there's a brand new ending. So the ending that the game ends on traditionally in the first playthrough, they expand on that in the Final Draft. There's actually new stuff added to that.
I'll just watch somebody play it then.
I might do that too.
I haven't played through it yet. Again, it's a crime, but it apparently, based on what I heard, is that it kind of gives you a better idea of like, oh, okay, this is where Alan's character arc might be going in the future with regards to maybe, fingers crossed, a third game. I would love to see a third Alan Wake.
I think they're getting it after they had the
I certainly hope
13
so.
years.
Stories.
No, I don't think
they're
we'll
gonna
wait
do
that
Control
long,
next.
but they're gonna do Firebreak, Control, and they have the Max Payne remakes, so they've got a busy slate of releases over the next few years. So
I am so excited for the Mass Effect, for Max Payne remakes. If anyone ever remembers Max Payne, the reason that I loved those games so much was not just because of the awesome slow motion combat and stuff. It was this noir vibe where you have oh my god, help me guys. What's the voice actor's name that passed away sadly?
James McCaffrey.
Yes,
May he rest
James
in peace.
McCaffrey. Yeah, he's just a fucking legend, man. Like, and his voice is so good.
And they use Sam Lake's likeness.
His
for
face.
Max Payne, you know,
it's so good, like the or whatever.
The squint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
So, and he does this thing where he's like, the snow was like a blood slushy of sin and greed on the streets.
It has a level of cheese to it.
It's so
100%,
good, man. I love it.
100%,
Oh,
yeah.
it's so good. It's just like
there's-
the streets are rotten, like the hearts of the men. It's just like, come on, but it knows what it is. It knows what it is, and I loved it so much, man.
Jacob Tupois makes a good point. Take Yoshida's advice. Everyone buy the remake to fund Alan Wake 3.
Hey, I mean, bro, listen, that's how, because they're not going for live service, man. You got to support the studios, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, I don't want to keep everyone too much longer, so let's just call it here. And guys, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Don't leave just yet, because I want to tell you where you can find Arcane. Where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube at The Arcane Realm. I've been posting content at a pretty regular pace that I feel comfortable with. So if you guys are interested in Arcane Studios focused content, Bethesda, general gaming discussion videos, you can check me out there. I'm also on X or Twitter at The Arcane Realm, and you can find me there, where I'm usually sharing when a video goes live, or I'm reposting videos or live streams from I don't know where they're at on the screen, but any of these amazing, lovely people. I always try to share their work when I can, because you know, small content creators, we gotta support each other, because YouTube can often be a very unforgiving and harsh environment, and it's always important to stick up for each other, especially when they're good friends like these guys. So,
and you're super close to 2,000. I'm gonna post this up here. Slowlark says, "Get Arcane to 2,000 subs." You are so close to 2,000 subs. Can you post your channel in the chat so people can just grab you right then and there?
Yeah, let me grab the link.
2,000.
Yeah, I noticed just the other day, I was like, oh, I'm at 1990. I'm so close now. So now I'm at, I think, 1993 last I checked. So anybody who hasn't already subscribed yet, even if you don't plan on watching my content, although that would certainly help a lot with the almighty algorithm, as I refer to it. If you want to subscribe and help me get past the 2,000 milestone, that would just make my week. That would be really, really awesome.
Go sub to him right now, guys. Go do it. Go do it. Go do it. We're going to do our outros. Go sub to him. Come back and we can say thank you, FarQ, for doing that as well. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's get you past that milestone because I just got past it too, and it was just such a, like, finally, you know. Finally. You know what that's from. Assassin, where are you? What you got going on, man?
So I've already got my next game already lined up to start streaming. So ironic that I picked this game because I was so frustrated with Prey. So I'm gonna go to another quote-unquote frustrating genre, the roguelike genre. Its sequel is actually supposedly coming into early access later this year, or it may have been announced to have already been in early access. Hades is my next game that I'm gonna start streaming. So that's gonna be fun.
That could be a never-ending stream.
Hades.
It could be.
Yes.
It
The
could
wealth,
be.
the wealth of games at your disposal, and you're gonna go with the never-ending one.
There you go.
So, I'm not gonna start playing Mass Effect or Elden Ring or Cyberpunk or any of these big games because let's face it, there's so many games already to play this year, enough as it is. And I don't want to dedicate half of my time gaming to any of these big name RPGs. Because that's just going to take too much time. So if you want me to play those games, pray for a drought. But that's not going to happen this year. And plus, this is actually a great way to actually... So Abdel actually asked us how we are dealing with our backlogs. This is how I'm dealing with mine. Play a new game when I'm not streaming. When I am streaming, playing something from my backlog. In this case, I'm playing Hades from my backlog. So this should actually...
Hades is fantastic, but...
I know, I'm so excited to start playing it.
It'll take a lot of streams to secure the actual ending to it.
Well, that's fine. That's kind of what I had in mind. As far as anything else that I'm doing, so I talked to a friend of mine, and I've decided it would probably be best not to make gameplay related content. What I am considering starting to do though, since these four lovely people just refuse to acknowledge how great games are from our beloved Eastern developers from Japan, Korea, China, I'm in the process of writing a script for some great games coming from those regions that I personally will be trying to cover.
Okay, that's interesting. Love that.
Exactly.
Good niche.
Because
Good niche.
this is my niche. This is the niche that I was looking for. A lot of people don't talk about these types of games, and I feel like that's a crying shame. I think
Okay,
a lot more
there's-
people should know about these games.
There's something you can do, man. That's good.
Mm-hmm. That's what, So I'm in the process of looking at some of these games, writing scripts about some games from these beloved developers that I think that some people here should keep an eye on. And I say some because, well... everyone here just hates Eastern games. I'm so alone.
I don't hate them. I think...
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. When have I ever said that I hate Eastern games? You know
So
what
when are you
I
gonna play
am?
Persona?
You know what I am is uneducated about the matter. So if you start making videos on
I
these
hate
games,
'em.
it will help me to it will help me to educate myself on these things. So
I own
Fair
my
enough. So yeah, if any of that interests you, whether I'm streaming Prey or what I plan to be covering from now on, once I actually get this script finished, it's almost finished actually. Just need to record and send some screenshots to my friend, and he's gonna edit I will help him out as he needs me to. Back and forth. Lovely relationship that we have. You can find my links to my Twitter and YouTube in the description down below. So, check it out.
Yeah. Oh, and
Did I do
Abdel
that
says,
right?
any chance Persona 4 remake is real? I would love that. I have the original thanks to Assassin, but
Any chance? That is actually one that I will gladly talk about once I'm done with this current
Yeah.
script.
yeah, I'm excited.
Because
To see
now
what you got, man.
now that I'm in the Persona fandom because of Reload, boy oh boy, would I love a remake of 4.
Hey, Arcane, did you check your channel? Are you at 2K yet?
No, I still have like another 5.
Come on, guys, hit that button and subscribe to Arcane. Get him past 2,000. Do it.
I really do appreciate. No, I really do appreciate everybody who's subscribing, but I also don't want it to be a forced thing. You know, I do want it to
know.
be
You
a
wanna
very
feel like
natural
you earned
kind
it.
of growth to an extent. Yeah, exactly,
totally
because
get
that
it.
is preferable. You know.
Yeah, totally understand. Because when people hand
Same
you
with
stuff,
me
you're like,
as well. I don't want to make you guys feel like that just because you know me here that you have to sub to my channel either. If you're not interested in the content that I'm making or the streams or the games that I'm streaming, you don't have to sub. I mean, it's appreciated if you do, but don't feel like that me or Arcane are forcing you. You can completely feel free that if you feel like Damarco's forcing you, but not me and Arcane.
Exactly.
'cause every
Abdel
week-
put it best. He said, "Organic growth, no acquisitions." And yes,
there you
absolutely.
go. Love that. Well said, Abdel.
That's
Abdel.
That's
Yeah,
the goal. So
Agreed.
love that. All right, Holly, where can people find you? What you getting into and all that stuff? Hey,
Yeah, Holly, where's your YouTube channel?
we don't talk about that yet. It's
What?
coming. It's coming.
glasses almost came off.
Giggity, giggity. I should just let it fly off my head. Yeah.
So it's funny that you say that because the only videos I ever had on my YouTube was that I went ziplining in Montana in the big sky one time, and I put a bunch of I had a GoPro, so I wore the GoPro on the zipline. And I went on a few other zip lines too, and I would always wear the GoPro, and I uploaded them so that my parents could see them because they were always like, zip lining, and I was like, yeah! So I had uploaded them.
Yeah.
They're all unlisted now, so you can't find those. But I do have 34 subscribers with having 0 things on my channel, so I'm the best. Like,
You gotta start somewhere.
but there's stuff coming. So actually, y'all, I am I'm working on something in the background that's much bigger, but for the meantime, I just thought it would be nice to start streaming. So I would love to start
Eternal.
streaming with Doom Eternal. BT Maverick gave it to me. But I am also extremely fearful of streaming Doom Eternal and the shame pattern that I'm going to, like, the shame loop of dying all the time and getting really frustrated and probably cursing a lot.
It's the hardest one. Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know if I'm gonna do that on stream or not.
You
But
absolutely should do that.
You have to.
it is. I do want to get through it before
And if that was-
the Dark Ages
And if you
come.
want more, ThatBlueNumber or Red Wolf, they'll also be streaming Split Fiction as well.
Yes. More importantly, because that is the imminent, as in it comes out next week. Red and I need to sit
Is it
down.
really
and...
next week?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Wait,
Is it
what?
Really?
So
F.
fast.
Wait,
I had
what?
No idea.
What?
Wow. Well,
No, it's not.
there it goes.
March 6th is next week.
Yes.
That's next
Yeah, it
Thursday.
is.
What the fuck?
Oh my god, yeah, because there's
That's
only 28 days
crazy.
in February.
Oh my god, yeah.
Shit. Damn.
That came up
Oh
quick.
man, no.
So there you go.
So Red,
yeah.
so Red and I need to sit down and set a schedule of days and times, you know, like a set pattern until it's done, right? And then
Yep.
when it's done, done.
Because it'll never
But,
get done if not. So because it'll be
Yeah,
my fault.
and you don't want to be playing this game for like 2 months. People are like, who cares at that point,
Yeah,
right? Like you need to
exactly.
play like every couple days, like
Yep.
just to get through it. So we'll like figure that out, and we need to figure it out this week and start putting up posts and promoting it.
Yeah.
I'm telling him now in case you didn't get that chat.
Yep. We need to. Yeah. Thank you guys for. Look forward to that. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Holly, for reminding me. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Anything else?
Yeah. So that's it. And then on Twitter, ThatBlueNumber.
And then on Twitter.
And then you could sub to my YouTube if you want, but there's no pressure because at this very date and moment, there's nothing there for you. But at some
Exactly.
point there will be very soon.
Yeah. Rebranding and all kinds of fun stuff happening there. It's going to be exciting. Damarco, you have a YouTube channel.
Howdy! The outros have been going on for like 15 minutes. So,
Yeah.
Damarco Dude on YouTube and Twitter, you guys know this already that are here. If you don't, then hi, welcome. Check me out, Damarco Dude, on YouTube and Twitter. Links in the description below. And I do my own podcast on Thursdays that you can stop by and join and hang out there with. I'd love to be able to chat with all of you there coming this Thursday. And I try to do some. This week's gonna be hard though because I mean the big headlines are really WB and WB.
DeMarco, don't you already know by now? Whenever we have our podcast, something big always happens the next day, so don't worry.
That is
Almost
true. Yeah,
every
usually
time.
Yeah, almost every
Have
time.
has
it's on there.
anyone noticed that in the chat, or and have you guys noticed that whenever we talk about a certain topic
Mhm.
or anything related to what we talk about, something
Tomorrow-
big always happens the
Something
next
will drop
day.
on Wednesday, on Hump Day.
I
Every
was just
time.
about to say because it's always Hump Day, and tomorrow we're gonna get the news that that Batman game that's in production is canceled. So that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna put it out there right
Okay,
Wait,
Red.
please.
Rip
Why
off
do you
Band-Aid.
hate me? Why do you hate me so much?
Anyway, you can check me out. You can check me out with those links.
Yes.
I would love to see you.
now. Yeah, and you guys, if you haven't followed me on Twitter, my Twitter is in the description. If you can follow me there, and it's nothing really new. I don't really post. Well, never mind. You can follow me there. It's fantastic. Twitter is a great place to be.
He posts about
but-
Starfield.
I do talk about kind of. I've been having a lot of fun just posting screenshots lately and putting quotes from characters. It's been fun because I never get to share my screenshots. I take so many clips and screenshots of games and I just never put them anywhere. Anyway, also guys, if you want to become a channel member, when you become a channel member, you get access to the Discord where we do have photo mode there where you can post your own screenshots and clips and whatever the hell you want, and just to be more in touch with the community here. We want people to want to be there, which is why it's behind the membership. So if you want to support the channel, it'd be fantastic to do that. But otherwise, if not, that's fine. We will see you next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Thank you guys so much. We will see you next week. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.
And I'll be on camera.